What's good, everybody? It's your brother Nubreed coming through with another live stream. Coming to you live from Charlotte, North Carolina. As you enter the broadcast, make sure you hit the like button. Of course, I'm doing some traveling. Got an event a little bit later this afternoon. Peace and blessings to everybody joining. What up? More decks in the building. Y'all hit the like button on your way in. I know it's early in the morning. What's going on? I see Joy in the building. Hello. I see y'all. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Good morning. Somebody says, I was hoping you went live this AM. Yep. Look, we got to talk about what's going on in America. We got to talk about these massive job cuts, SNAP benefits being cut, WIC, HUD, Section 8, all while simultaneously military is in place for what's to come. Now, we've seen in a lot of these movies the predictive programming. And now we got to move accordingly. We have to prepare. We have to see what's coming down the turnpike. We got to be ahead of the curve. And we got to be on point. Remain sober and vigilant out here. You got to pay attention. Now, so recently, Amazon had a whole lot of job cuts. There's a lot of job cuts in tech as well. Teachers are getting laid off. I mean, in every single industry, people are losing jobs, all while the price of living continues to go up. And due to Trump's quote unquote big, beautiful bill, it seems that he has also sort of edged out the poor. A lot of ethnic purging is taking place under that bill as well. You got Project 2025 right down the turnpike. And we got to get into this, y'all. Now, first and foremost, let's talk about Amazon, because Amazon feeds a lot of people. And we got to understand what this means with mass job cuts coming from Amazon. Let's go.
Amazon, the company that revolutionized online shopping, is now making headlines for a completely different reason: mass layoffs. In early 2025, thousands of Amazon employees around the world woke up to shocking emails. Their jobs were gone. From tech engineers to warehouse staff, no one seemed safe. But here's the big question. Why is one of the richest companies in the world cutting jobs at this scale? Is Amazon in trouble? Or is this part of a bigger plan for the future of automation and AI? Stay tuned, because in this video, we'll uncover the real reasons behind these layoffs.
See, we're starting to understand why the layoffs are really taking place. When Trump got in office, he spent $500 billion on AI. They have automated systems that can do the shipping, packaging, handling of all of our goods at this point. So transport as we know it is about to be revolutionized. So that's a whole industry right there that's going to get edged out. Now, Elon Musk himself got on his Twitter space and said that in the future, nobody's going to have quote unquote jobs, and jobs will be optional. Now, the only way that that can happen is if they are giving some sort of universal basic income to all the citizens, and they have some control mechanism over the people, right? So this AI thing is really taking the world by storm. This is why I work in human relations, because that's where you want to be. Me personally, I get paid to travel and network with people. And, I'm building a team that's doing the same. So that's human relations. That's something that AI cannot AI can't replace our firsthand interactions. And if you want more details on that, on what I do, and you want to partner up, Nubreed 404 is the IG. But anyway, look at what's going on with this AI, man. Let's go.
What they mean for Amazon's future, and how this could affect the global job market, including you. Layoffs aren't new. We've seen them at Google, Meta, and Microsoft. But Amazon's case is special because it's happening at a time when the company is still profitable. Imagine this. You're part of a trillion-dollar business, sales are strong, and yet your job gets cut. Strange, right? In this video, we'll break down why Amazon is restructuring, which departments are affected most, and how new technologies like AI and automation are replacing human roles faster than ever before. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear picture of what's really happening behind the scenes, not just at Amazon, but across the entire tech industry. Let's rewind a bit. Between 2020 and 2023, Amazon hired hundreds of thousands of workers to keep up with booming e-commerce demand. During the pandemic, online orders exploded, and Amazon expanded like never before. But after COVID, consumer behavior changed. Online shopping slowed down.
And just for the record, we're not talking about no slight job cuts. We're talking about damn near 15% of the company was cut. Damn near 15%. That's a lot of people. That's hundreds and thousands of jobs. Done. Finito. Finish. So just so that we're perfectly clear, this is happening in the industry of transport, but it's happening in every industry. But we're going to get to that. Let's go.
Inflation rose, and operating costs skyrocketed. To protect profits, Amazon started cutting costs, starting with office spaces, logistics, and now people. In 2024, Amazon announced one of its largest ever layoffs, over 27,000 employees. And in 2025, it's happening again, across the US, Europe, and Asia. But the layoffs aren't just about saving money, they're about changing direction. Amazon is moving heavily into AI-driven logistics, drone delivery, and automated customer service. The future workforce is smaller.
So we're living in the future. Right now, what you see going on is another industrial revolution. Imagine a world where there's no real human interaction. At least that's what they're trying to do, right? So imagine ordering a pizza and a damn drone comes down, flies your pizza to your home, drops it on your front door. No human interaction, no contact, no nothing. This is what they're gearing up for. Or your package coming in a self-driving vehicle to your home, no human interaction, all automated. And guess what? Once Amazon perfects it, that's going to FedEx. Now, mark my words, I'm saying all of this because if you're in these fields of work, you need to think 5 to 10 years ahead right now. Think 5 to 10 years ahead right now. If your long-term goal is to be financially secure, will you be there working in these industries, in this field of work with the AI? So you really got to use critical thinking in this situation. Yeah, it's going to be, somebody said it's going to be like the Twilight Zone, X-Files. It's going to be like the Jetsons. It's going to be futuristic out here. But this is what they're doing. When Trump got in office and spent all that money on AI, I told everybody as soon as it happened what was going to happen. But let's continue. Consider this a warning.
But smarter and more automated. Let's talk about the core reason behind these job cuts: efficiency and transformation. Amazon is betting big on AI and robotics to reduce its dependency on human labor. For example, in 2024, Amazon introduced Sparrow, an AI-powered robotic arm that can identify, pick, and pack millions of items with incredible accuracy. One Sparrow robot can do the work of 5 to 7 warehouse employees, 24/7, no breaks, no sick days.
So you see why all these billionaires came together and they started investing in the AI because they know that they're going to make their money back. You had one billionaire, I believe he was from China. He invested 100 billion. He said he's going to get 500 billion back. Why? Because you just cut those employees off. You cut those employees off. You don't have to pay the laborers. You cut out the middleman. So guess what? your return is twice as much, 3 times as much. Yep, that's what's happening in America.
So ask yourself, if you were Amazon's CEO, what would you do? You'd probably choose automation over labor too, because machines don't demand salaries or benefits. But here's the catch. Automation brings efficiency, yes, but it also raises moral and economic questions. What happens to the millions of workers replaced by machines? AAP sak rahi hong. Ya layoff surf Amazon kaliya hain kia? Actually, nahi. This is a tech industry-wide pattern. Google, Meta, Microsoft, and even startups are following the same trend, cutting human staff and investing in AI tools that can do the same work faster. Let's look at some numbers. Amazon has saved an estimated $3.5 billion annually through these layoffs. Meanwhile, it has invested over $10 billion into AI research and cloud automation projects. So in a way, these layoffs are not about failure. They're about evolution.
That's what it is. It's another evolution. And, we've had a few evolutions, but there's a tech evolution going on. There's a consumer, a beverage manufacturing evolution going on, healthcare, hospital system evolution going on. I mean, it's all happening in industries where a lot of people work. Nursing jobs are going to change. There's literally going to come a time where there's robots setting up IVs. When that nurse comes in to check on you and put that IV in there, something that's very personal, it's personable, right? No, they're going to have that automated. I'm telling y'all that the future is here. And in the next 5 to 10 years, you're going to see exactly why military is in the streets right now as we speak, strategically placed. Because when people lose their jobs, it ain't going to be like and people are already losing them. But when austerity measures kick in, when the poor don't have nobody to eat but the rich, you're going to see why they got the military in place. And it ain't going to be like the No Kings protests. It ain't going to be friendly protests. It's going to be people out here in these streets getting busy. Like I'm talking about something straight out of the Purge. It's going to look crazy, and you're going to see why they strategically placed military where they did. But let's continue.
But there's another layer to this story. Amazon shareholders. Wall Street loves efficiency. The more Amazon cuts costs, the higher its profit margins look. That's why, right after announcing layoffs, Amazon's stock price actually went up. Strange, but true. Layoffs can make investors happy. Let's now talk about the human side. Meet Sarah, a mid-level Amazon manager who worked in HR for 6 years. She recently shared her story online. I didn't see it coming. We had good performance numbers, but one morning, my access just stopped working. Stories like Sarah's are all over LinkedIn. Thousands of loyal employees are losing jobs overnight, not because they failed, but because machines took over. But there are also positive stories. Some laid-off employees are using severance pay to start their own AI-driven businesses. Others are res-killing in tech fields like data analysis, prompt engineering, and automation design.
So now, this is for those out there who want to take advantage of the AI. Consider this a warning. These are the type of jobs you might want to look for. You might want to learn the AI. Hey, you might want to figure out how to work on these drones and robots, or pretty much get in front of these automated systems. Let's go back just a little bit so you can hear some of the jobs, right?
Prompt engineering and automation.
Prompt engineering and automation design. Those are jobs that you should look into within the next prompt engineering, automative design within the next 5 years. You're going to get in where you fit in. If you're interested in that stuff, take advantage of that. I'm one who always has some type of foresight, and I like to give my opinion and my thoughts. Because look, Malcolm X says the future is for those who prepare for it, right? But anyway, let's continue.
Design. So yes, layoffs hurt, but they also push people to reinvent themselves. So what's next for Amazon? Experts predict that by 2030, nearly 40% of Amazon's operational workforce could be automated. AI-driven warehouses, autonomous delivery drones, and predictive algorithms will dominate logistics. But here's the risk. What if automation outpaces job creation? What happens when millions lose work faster than new industries can absorb them? At the same time, there are opportunities. Amazon will create new roles in AI maintenance, robotic system design, and cloud data analytics. The e-commerce model itself may evolve, from physical fulfillment centers to fully automated smart hubs. So while the future looks uncertain, one thing is clear. The world of work is changing forever. To sum up, Amazon's layoffs in 2025 aren't just about cost cutting. They're a strategic shift toward automation and AI dominance. This change will redefine jobs, reshape the economy, and test how ready we are for a future powered by intelligent machines. The question is, are you ready for it? If you found this video insightful, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment below what you think about automation replacing humans.
I mean, look, I could tell you this right now. AI is pretty much running the government right now. This whole shutdown, Democrats and Republicans being at some type of stalemate, that's all a screenplay for the people, for you, for us, right? They think we're sheeple. They think we don't see. They think we don't see that the Democrats set this up and then the Republicans knocked us down. They think that we caught up in the damn matrix that they've created for us. No, God's chosen people can see exactly what's going on. God's chosen people know what's happening, and we got the foresight to move accordingly. Let me see. Somebody says nuclear family solved this problem, but they broke us all apart. Wow. Yeah, you're right. And that's why you got to learn how to network with like-minded people. And that's what you got to do, because I'm going to tell you, a lot of people are not going to take heed to these warnings. They're going to live their days as if the future don't exist. And you got people out here who choose to remain oblivious, essentially. So you got to be around people who are like-minded, people who thinking outside the box, people who really trying to get to it, people who understanding how society is changing, and catch the wave. Catch the wave, because there is a transfer of wealth that's taking place. There's also a transfer of power. God's people are about to be empowered to a whole nother level. And then, you got people online right now going crazy about these SNAP benefits for November. And there's a lot of people crashing out. We gonna get into some of that because you don't you don't you don't want to be these people who are reliant on the system. Now I understand, we all have been in times of struggle. Some of us still in the middle of the struggle. Um, and I'm gonna say this before I get to the crash outs. The people who are losing the most SNAP benefits are Caucasian women. So let's be very clear about that. That's who are losing more benefits than anyone. But see, I'm here to talk to my people for a moment, right? Because when we having our issues, sometimes we gotta reel our folks back in so they can understand that we've always struggled in this system and it was set up that way, but there's ways to navigate and maneuver. You know what I'm saying? Now, it's getting crazy out here. Somebody says, I've been prepping since 2000. That's what's up. Let me go here. Also, let me make sure I got I'm over here set tripping, y'all. I ain't got my banner up. There we go. And I want to share with y'all, the reaction from the public based on these SNAP benefits being cut. And it's not just that, man. There's a lot of people getting evicted who have HUD and Section 8 and so on and so forth.
Because of this government shutdown, they telling me I can't use my EBT in November. I got 7 kids with 7 men. 7, and that's the taxpayer's responsibility.
I'm gonna tell y'all this right now. The media is using our people, you know, and there's actually been some stuff exposed. This might even be AI. Let's just keep it a buck. There's been some exposure out there of people getting paid to be the face of this. We're not the face of this. We should not be the face of this. And they're pushing these videos everywhere. And people been sharing them with me because they want me to react. They like, Breed, what's going on with our people? They crashing out. No, look, we're not the highest welfare recipients. We're just not. We are not the ones getting the most SNAP benefits. So they give us these isolated events. Some of this is paid actors and actresses to do what? Denigrate our people further. That's what it's for. So be careful what y'all being shown. Listen, first and foremost, our people have always been, you know, at the bottom of this country struggling. We know what it's like to survive. We're just some survivors at the end of the day. So don't let this make you really believe this is what's going on. Our people know how to get by and know how to get through. But you gotta look out for this type of stuff because people keep sharing it to me, and I'm gonna give y'all my reaction live. Let's go.
If you don't need EBT, then it's not none of your business.
It was only supposed to have been a temporary thing.
As it said, denied, I swiped the card. Y'all tripping today?
It goes out for the single mothers that got kids. Now, what can we do?
Hey, Patriots, welcome back to the show.
Hold on, let's get back to some more of the clips.
Off. It's going to be a lot of people suffering behind these politicians playing with people's livelihood for power and control and for whatever agendas they feel like is doing it. But I just pray that, you know, our people make it through this hard time. Like, bro, this going to be crazy. A lot of people depend on these food stamps a lot to survive. And it's like they're leveraging people's survival for them to play games with each other.
And you know, and look, let's keep it a buck. That is what's happening. I mean, in hindsight, I've been speaking this for some time now, the importance of networking with people and the importance of everyone considering becoming more self-sufficient, getting gardens, at least start off small, plant a little garden, grow some tomatoes, grow a little cabbage, you know, potatoes, whatever. Because at some point, all the food trucks are going to stop running. At some point, a lot of places that's highly concentrated right now are going to look totally different, and they're going to be food deserts. How do I know this? The Bible told me in the book of Esdras. It says, because of the lack of bread, homes will get pillaged, destroyed, so on and so forth. So what we got to understand is the poor and the needy is always the beta test. Our people in our community is always the beta test to go through it first, and then they roll it out to everyone. Just like when the military was going to Chicago and New York and this place and that place, and now they all up in Milwaukee. Because that's what has to happen. That's the same thing that's going to happen with these austerity measures. It's going to go on all over, and them trucks going to stop running. All they need is a AI glitch, a blackout, especially once you get everything automated, transport, stuff gets shut down. Yeah, prophecy's unfolding. It'll be people on the outskirts of these highly concentrated areas who were preparing, who going to be in a better position. These are also things you got to consider with all that's happening. There's going to be people out there in the country with a whole barter system, whole trading system. I've been to a lot of these areas. Our land that we have, our land we own, is in one of these areas where people already preparing, already trading amongst each other, already getting to know their neighbors, or have known their neighbors for a multitude of years. Ask yourself, if you're in the middle of New York, Chicago, DC, how will that look when nobody's eating? How will that look? Just something to consider, right?
You know what that's called? Socialism. And people think that socialism is such a great thing, but it's not, because your livelihood is now at the mercy of the government.
And your livelihood should never be at the mercy of the government. Your livelihood being at the mercy of the government is a problem. But guess what? A lot of us, we're in the same position. We're just ignorant to it. And there's no certainty with this here government. I mean, the feds got laid off. Like my boy Zah said, you got the CIA in the unemployment line. What are we talking about? What did them federal employees do to lose their jobs? You're looking for certainty in Babylon. You ain't read the scriptures? Babylon will fall. It has become the inhabitant of every foul bird, every foul spirit. All the merchants of the earth shall wax abundantly rich upon her fall. And that's what's happening. The rest of the world have invested in the fall of Babylon. The moment where Trump put $500 billion on AI, and all of those companies from other countries came over to invest, they were investing in the fall of Babylon so they can wax abundantly rich for the next superpower. This place is designed to fall. Yeah. But of course, God's people who move in accordingly will escape their captivity with great substance. That's prophecy. But let's continue.
And even people on EBT and SNAP, they think it's a flex. They can go out there, live the way they want to live. They can go out there and get in trouble, not be responsible, have as many kids as they want, and the government will take care of them. And to some extent, that's true, but look at what you're giving up. You're giving up your access to food. The government now controls what they want to pay you, when they want to pay you, if they want to pay you.
See, now we see why the Democrats was pacifying our people. Now we see it. The Democrats wanted y'all to have freedom and liberty to do whatever you want. Freedom to do what? Sin willfully. And then the Republicans come in to do what? Execute judgment. They've been doing this. Every 4 to 8 years, there's another shift where the quote unquote government plays judge and jury. The protagonist, the antagonist, and the protagonist. They trading blows with you right in the middle of it. They trading blows with the people in the middle taking the hits.
What you can buy with the money.
Y'all hear me? Because of this government
He gotta be trolling, or there's gotta be AI.
shut down, they telling me I can't use my EBT in November. I got 7 kids with 7 men. 7! And that's the taxpayer's responsibility, okay?
Morning, liberals. I got a question for y'all.
They paying people to do stuff like that to make black people look bad. They're paying the quote unquote Sharkeisha, as they say. They're paying these people or using AI to make black folks look bad. We're not the highest welfare recipients. And then the fact that we're not the highest welfare recipients, you got a lot of YT people who lost benefits. They blaming us too. You know, black folks get blamed for everything. We just get blamed for everything. But let's go.
So, last time I checked, y'all hate the government, right? Especially this new administration, like Trump. Y'all can't stand him. Y'all just had a whole No Kings protest just a couple days ago, talking about doing a third one.
That No Kings protest is fake. I don't know who organized that. When the last time y'all seen millions of people, it's about 7 million people, come together and protest peacefully, and ain't nothing happened. Like nothing violent happened. Like a protest where you're going against, it's an anti-government protest and no violence happens and there's millions of people out there. You telling me it ain't no crash outs out there? I don't believe that. I believe it's all staged and they're flexing their power. Whoever's out there, it could be AI. Y'all like breed everything AI, huh? It could be AI. You see them millions of people marching, man. How many of y'all actually drove down the street and seen a No Kings protest? Raise your hand. How many of y'all seen millions of people marching through y'all streets blocking off traffic and y'all in a city near you? Talk to me. Look, I'm telling you, this AI is sophisticated. You got Will Smith putting concerts together, putting AI in the crowd. Bro, I don't believe nothing these people show me on this TV, on these mechanisms, and I don't believe it. I travel all the time. I don't see millions of people marching through the streets. Why we always get this aerial view? We always get this drone footage. Yeah, we get this enhanced drone footage of millions of people. Ain't no violence. No, man. You look. Yeah, look. You can't believe what you see out here. Yeah, somebody said visually enhanced. Right. Y'all see how they using the AI out here these days?
He's racist, he's homophobic, he's all this and this and that, right? So, if you hate the government that bad, then why do you want to depend on the government? Like, y'all are legit the loudest ones bitching right now about the SNAP benefits being turned off. Then you guys are going, oh, well, MAGA, you're only screwing yourself because most of the people that receive welfare are in red states. Wrong?
Well, most of the people who receive welfare are Caucasian people in general because they outnumber us, and welfare was actually made for them. And this is not to quote unquote race bait. It's just the truth. It's just statistical facts. And people like to give the per capita argument when that doesn't matter, because if it's more of them than us, then they stand more to lose when they lose welfare. They're still affected more than us. Let's continue.
Top 5 states with the highest recipients of welfare, 3 of those states are blue states, with California being the reigning champion. Bro, welfare is supposed to be used as a tool, not a crutch. And no, it doesn't have anything to do with not having empathy for the situation, but honestly, what gives you guys the unmitigated gall to think that you can talk shit about the government, hate the government, but then want the government to support you?
She's exactly right. Some of the same people that's complaining about the government and Trump calling it racist, calling him racist, are the same people.
I mean, I halfway agree on that, but at the end of the day, when your people was promised 40 acres and a mule, and you built the country, I mean, at least you could do is feed the people. You know what I'm saying? If I was to invite y'all to go do some contractor work on my house and I didn't have no money, wouldn't y'all at least want a meal? By show of ones, if I hire y'all to build a deck, if I hire the contractor workers out there, but I'm broke, can't pay you right now, you would at least want a hot meal, right? At least let me get you dinner, right? I'm just saying. That's the way I view it. It's like you you have these people build your great nation, and then you starve them out once it's built.
As it said denied, I swiped the card. Y'all tripping today?
It says these items aren't covered by EBT, ma'am. Only the produce and
That's AI. And see, they putting a lot of these videos out here as fact. That looks like AI.
When I can't buy pizza and chips now,
That's AI.
that's food. I got kids.
I want to know, how are people so mad at people who have EBT? If you don't need EBT, then it's not none of your business.
Wrong. It is our business. I'm gonna stop it right here real quick. It is our business because we're paying into that EBT fund. If you're a taxpayer paying taxes in the US, then
You don't know where your tax dollars are going. Black folks, we got to stop that. Y'all falling for the lie. Y'all don't know where your tax dollars are going. Y'all thought y'all's tax dollars was going to Mexicans. They wasn't benefiting off of our tax dollars. They done packed all the Mexicans up, threw them on shipping containers and got them out here, and you still getting taxed. Your tax dollars are going to the rich. Y'all so worried about the poor when the rich is getting your tax dollars, not the poor. Black folks, y'all got to stop that. They getting our tax dollars. Shut up. You don't know where your damn tax dollars are going. That gets me when they do that. Let's go.
you're paying into that EBT fund and you should have a say on how those funds are spent.
Man, they got enough food to feed the damn country over 20 times. You know how much food they throw away in the grocery stores? You know how much food that they have to feed the people? See, when a country stop caring about the poor, the needy, and the widows, we have a problem. And there's people who really need that support. They need it. There's people out here who not trying to live off the system. They trying to get from their situation to a better situation, and they need that supplement. We all been there at some point. You know, some people they get to making it to a certain level, and they start thinking real snooty like, like people don't deserve a chance or deserve to eat. Let's go.
And you should even have a say on who receives them and how that person is living their life. Now, whether they want to listen to you or not, it's a whole different thing. But you can't tell people, that the taxpayer, that it isn't any of their business, because how they live their life directly affects how much money you're going to pay in taxes. Okay. Even the people that's not on EBT right now, but it looks like they're heading that way,
Your house, because the way I was taught was, you never leave people hungry. If somebody came over to your house and they said they needed a meal, you fed them.
Yeah.
The most inhumane thing to ever do to a person is to neglect them from having food.
I mean, how many of y'all can agree with that? You got a country that spent, how much did he just spend on Venezuela? How much did Trump just spend in Venezuela? What was it, like 30 trillion damn dollars? And we're denying food to children? They're cutting off WIC. But you send 30 million to Venezuela. I bet you they won't send that 30 million to Haiti. You know what I'm saying? They won't send that to Haiti where it's hungry children. See, when a country start moving like this, God has to judge it. God has to judge it.
To eat. Being hungry is something that will really scar you for life, especially as a child. It's hard to function in life when you're hungry, when there's an ache in your belly.
All right, I see where she's coming from.
Somebody said 40 billion. I thought it was in the trillions. It's 40 billion, Nubreed, but 40 billion is a lot of money for foreign aid when our own people is out here starving. literally, around they holiday season.
But I don't think people have a problem with feeding hungry. I think people have a problem with people that's been abusing the system for.
The rich been abusing the system. The Bible says, woe unto those who make unrighteous decrees. The rich been jugging and finessing all of us. Taxes. Trump said taxes. I ain't got to show you my damn taxes. Y'all remember that? These people got billions. They got unlimited resources. And these are the same people telling you that the poor and needy don't deserve food and claiming it's fraud. Claiming it's fraud. I don't believe it's no fraud going on. It's very hard to fraud the system to get some stamps. People ain't out here frauding. People don't have jobs. People are suffering and struggling. Let's go.
5, 10 to 15 years and passing food stamps down to their kids and all this stuff. People that's living recklessly.
That does exist. That does exist. I give them that. And that's why I give pushback and say, look, you can't be relying on this system. You know, personally, I believe you shouldn't be able to delegate natural resources. You shouldn't be able to do that. Who gave you the world where you can delineate who eats and who doesn't? But anyway, I do agree that there's people out here who live like generations giving stamps. That does exist. But anyway, let's continue.
Not even trying to get a job, not even trying to better their life, just settling into the EBT lifestyle, right? And you know, keep having kids and all this stuff. I think that's the problem right there, okay? Feeding the hungry, yes, people want to have compassion, they want to do all that stuff, but do you need to be on EBT for 5, 10, 15, 20 years? If you can't feed yourself, then why do you continue to have kids, right? That's the problem.
It was only supposed to have been a temporary thing. Okay, I'm hearing people all up on this internet here talking about what they're gonna do. They was getting $4,200 a month. Oh, what they was gonna do? They was getting $1,200 a month in food stamps. But they all on iPhones. You're on iPhones, you're on Android. That's a luxury, okay? To the government, that's a luxury, okay? To the government, you're not supposed to have cable, okay? To the government, there's a lot of things that was not prioritized right on Section 8, because Section 8, was supposed to be on it for 20 years, okay? To get food stamps, was supposed to get food stamps for 17 years.
Okay, so with that being said, why did Donald Trump cut Section 8? And I'm talking about, when I say cut, I mean its funding. Why did he cut its funding? Why not put better parameters in place? Are y'all picking up what I'm putting down? So if the issue is that people are taking advantage of the system, why cut the funds instead of putting more to the funds so you can have a more sophisticated, right? Y'all following me so far? You can have a more sophisticated program that eliminates fraud. I mean, you spent all this money on AI. You would think they would be able to, weed out those who are abusing the system. But no, you cut federal funding because that equals you cut funding for SNAP, WIC, Section 8, HUD, because that leaves more money for the rich. And it also creates more crime in the streets, which fills up the prisons. And the rich eat off of it. Simple as that. Let's go.
I hear one lady said that she had one child starting on it, but she got 6. How did you do that? Okay, I can understand maybe 1 or 2. The second one slipped out, but
Black folks, why are y'all not pressing out Marianne and Becky and them. Why y'all got to press your own people out in this situation when we're not the highest recipients of welfare, SNAP, EBT, Section 8? We're not the highest recipients. We're just not, statistically speaking. Everybody needs to focus their energy to the ones who are eating up top. Y'all can protest all day. Well, they can set up these fake protests all day. But the power is in what we address, what we vocalize to.
Oh, you had another FOMO. So my thing is, you don't get no sympathy for people like that.
It all comes down to personal responsibility. And look, if you're young and you're watching this, it would behoove you to not put yourself in a situation where you're going to have to rely on the government for any kind of benefits at all, whether it be food benefits, whether it be, housing, whatever, right? Make sure you're going to school, make sure you're paying attention, get good grades, make sure you're hanging with the right people, make sure you're not having kids, okay? Make sure you get married first, and you and your husband, you guys can build together and build a life outside of this madness. Because on the other side of that, this is what that EBT life looks like. And I get it. Some people lose jobs. Some people need to be on it for a minute. That's fine, okay? But 5, 10, 15 years living your life on food stamps, that is not the way it's supposed to go, right? Elderly people need food stamps, okay? Disabled people, okay, you need food stamps. Some veterans, some people just need it. Some people need it for longer than others, but...
Yeah, but the veterans lost their stamps too. Why do you creators like to focus on Black folks only? Why? There's a lot of veterans right now who don't have benefits and they're disabled. Why? Because the program was cut. You can mention that in passing, but let's point to the problem here. The problem is the rich are weeding out the poor and becoming richer. Right?
If you're able-bodied and you're just being irresponsible, then you got to turn your life around, because this is madness, okay? This whole food stamp thing is just madness, and you don't want to be part of this. You don't want to have to rely on the government for any kind of assistance, because if they shut down or if they decide to change tunes, then you're compromising your own livelihood. But you guys tell me what you think in the comments.
And that's true, and that's why we put it out there that there's real solutions out here. There's real ways of securing the future, man. And it really starts with networking, because when people going hungry out here, hold on, military. When people going hungry out here, I want to show y'all something. You want to make sure you're around the right people, or you want to make sure you're around people who was preparing, right? But nonetheless, somebody said, I agree with him. Yeah, I agree with him with some of the things he said. And, everybody want to blame this on socialism while we in the situation we in. No, the reason why we in the situation we in is because the rich is cannibalizing the poor and becoming more rich. But nonetheless, brothers and sisters, I'm not going to stream live real long. I'm going to get ready to get my day started. I told y'all I got an event to prepare for out here in Charlotte, NC. Of course, I got more material coming. If y'all want to sponsor the broadcast, support me via Cashapp, Nubreed Global Truth 77. And if you want something in return for your support, go ahead, nubreedglobaltruth.com. Get you some merchandise, man. We got a lot of good stuff. Natural products, oils, honey, soaps, toothpaste. We got everything over there, man. You could just go over there and get right. We got nice clothing over there. Support your interests, support your people. And also, if you all are interested in an endeavor where we can partner up and be able to make some moves, network, travel together, and just build, and hit me up, Nubreed 404. And let me say this, I got another announcement for everybody that I shared with via Instagram, Nubreed 404 on Instagram. For everybody that I share specific things with, hey, tomorrow night, I'm going to be sending out y'all some Zoom links, and we can connect there and, move further in what we got going on. So if you're a person that I've been contacting with and networking with, and if you interested and I missed you, make sure you follow up too. Always follow up, because I got a lot of people that I'm dealing with consistently. So always follow up. All right. But nonetheless, thank each and every one of y'all. Y'all have a blessed day.